Welcome back to the Ryoko Show. Today, we are diving into a topic that I think a lot of us can relate to, the hidden cost of high performance. We are going to explore how constantly striving for success, productivity might actually be taking a toll on your happiness and well-being. Have you ever found yourself in a never-ending race to achieve more, do more, and be more, and yet something still doesn't feel quite right? I've been there too. For so many years, I thought that success was all about productivity and achievement, constantly pushing myself, ticking off the next milestone, and believing that the more I did, the better I was doing. I was told to get a good grade, go to a good university, get a good job, work hard to be successful in life, a very traditional Japanese societal expectation. But one day, something shifted. I realized that I wasn't really happy. I had worked so hard to build a stable life in Canada since I immigrated and got a good, stable job, had my own place. But deep inside, I felt disconnected from who I truly was. My relationship, my passions, and even my everyday joy were fading into the background. And I know I'm not alone. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, disconnected, or like no matter how much you achieve, it never feels enough, this episode is for you. And today I want to talk about the hidden cost of high performance, the price we pay when we are so focused on success that we forget to stop and ask, what am I really working for? There is one moment I'll never forget. It completely changed my perspective. At that time, I was living in Montreal, Canada, working tirelessly to build my career, going to business school, and saving money for my future, and doing everything I thought I should be doing to be successful. On the surface, everything looked great. I was checking all the boxes, achieving goals, building stability, and people were impressed by my progress. But inside, I felt empty. One evening, after I finishing my final exam for the certificate program in business school, I heard a voice in my head saying, if this is what it takes to be successful, I'm okay not being successful. I never want to put myself to work this hard to achieve something in life. I was so exhausted. I worked full time from 9 to 5. Then I went to school after work and studied on weekends. Sometimes I even had classes on weekends as well. It was all work and study and almost no social life. After finishing business school, I had more free time and I didn't need to juggle school and work at the same time, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. After spending 2.5 years without much free time, I started to feel guilty for not working so hard. Then I asked myself, now I have time for myself. What do I want to do? What am I really working for? And this wasn't an easy question to answer, but it forced me to face the truth. I didn't really know anymore. I had become so focused on doing and achieving that I lost touch with the most important part, myself, the authentic me who needed peace, joy, fulfillment, and not just accomplishments. If this resonates with you, it might be time to reflect. Here are some signs that you might be paying too high a price for your high performance. Guilt when not being productive. Even when you try to rest, there is a voice in your head saying you should be doing something right now. And losing touch with happiness. You are so focused on achieving that you've forgotten what makes you happy outside of work. And distant relationships. Your connections with family, friends, and loved ones don't feel as meaningful anymore. You might feel like you are just going through the motions and your relationships feel strained. Always moving the goalpost. No matter how much you achieve, it's never enough. You set the new goal, hit it, and immediately chase the next thing, and never pausing to celebrate or acknowledge how far you've come. Constant exhaustions, but no slowing down. Even when you are tired, you keep going because you feel like you can't afford to stop. The idea of taking a break makes you feel guilty, like you are letting others down or falling behind. After that wake-up call, I knew something had to change, but I wasn't sure where to begin. I had conditioned myself to believe that success was about always being productive. If I wasn't working hard, I felt like I was falling behind or failing. So I made a promise to myself. I would experiment with a different way. Here is what helped me break free from the cycle of overwork. I gave myself permission to do things that didn't have a productive purpose. At first, it felt very uncomfortable. Slowing down was foreign to me, but slowly I reintroduced activities that brought me joy. Simple things I had forgotten about, like taking a long walk in nature with no distractions, no phone, just me and the world. And going to yoga class, no grades, no pressure to do all the postures perfectly. And reading for pure joy, not for homework, but stories that let me escape like detective stories. These little moments of joy weren't a waste of time. They nourished my soul. For so long, I defined success by how much I achieved, how many goals I hit, how busy I was, and how much I moved up. But after I got stuck in life, lost myself during the pandemic, I asked myself, what if success isn't about doing more? What if success is about living a life I actually enjoy? And this question shifted everything. Success for me became about inner peace, finding balance and mental calm, meaningful relationships, prioritizing family, friends, and real connections, living in the present moment, not waiting for someday to be happy, but enjoy each moment right now. I realized success isn't about ticking off goals. It's about creating a life that feels fulfilling, meaningful, and aligned with who you truly are. I knew if I didn't set clear boundaries, work would continue to take over. I had to allow space for rest. No work after certain time. I decided that once work hours are over, I was truly off the clock. And structured work hours. I decided to dedicate hours for work, but when it was time to disconnect, I did. And especially I stopped working on weekends and prioritizing downtime. Whether it was napping, reading, or just taking a quiet moments, I treated rest as essential and not optional. And guess what? I wasn't less productive. Actually, I performed better because I rested. I was more focused, clearer, and more productive. And I realized that rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Now I want you to ask yourself, what am I really working for? Are you working to meet external achievements or expectations or to prove something? Or are you working to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling? If you are unsure, that's okay. Take your time. But if you feel your work isn't aligned with what truly matters, it may be time to pause and reflect. Success is not about pushing harder. It's about creating a life that brings you joy, balance, and meaning. Breaking free from high performance circle is not easy, but it's worth it. It starts with choosing well-being over endless productivity. Take one small step today. Whether it's a walk, a cup of tea, or a conversation with a friend, whatever it is, make space for yourself and reconnect with what truly matters. Remember, you are enough as you are. You don't need to keep chasing validation to prove your worth. The hidden cost of high performance is real, but it doesn't have to be your reality. You have the power to create a new kind of success, one that feels authentic to you. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And let's work toward creating a life that's balanced, fulfilling, and truly authentic. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you are already enough and keep shining.